Hi everyone, it's Rebecca the Dietitian coming at you with a two-part series. I had someone ask me a question recently about what to do when you get off track and how to get back on track. And that's such a great question. It happens to all of us. We all get off track sometimes. And part one of this series is going to be how to not let yourself get so far off track. The more you eat healthy and you commit to a healthy lifestyle, the less likely you are to totally just go wildly off track. I used to go on vacation and seriously plan to just eat the probably least healthy thing possible every meal. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what I wanted. That's what I craved. It was sort of like I was always dieting, and I would go on vacation and go hog wild and just eat the worst things for me. Even if it's not what I wanted, it was sort of like a rebellion, I think. Well, now that I'm used to healthy eating, I realize how much better I feel when I eat clean foods and when I eat healthy foods. Now, I still love food. I love the taste of delicious food. So I'm not always perfect. So what I do is I probably get less off track. So I might, if I go out and have, say, this breakfast place is famous for its amazing French toast. I might have that French toast, and that's not something I would normally eat for breakfast. It's a little bit less healthy than my normal breakfast. But then I find that what I want to do next is I crave something healthier. So usually then at lunch, I might eat light. I might eat a salad or a vegetable soup or something, a couple of healthy side dishes like a couple of vegetables and a baked potato. And so I balance it. I balance it with, something less healthy and then something healthy. My dinner might be something healthy then with a dessert or whatever I feel like. But one thing that helps me not get so far off track is planning. So if you have a risky situation coming up, like a vacation or a holiday or a party, whatever it is, whatever it might be, one party probably wouldn't be so risky. If you get off track, then you just get right back on track. But a holiday season or maybe Halloween where the candy's there, extended periods, a cruise, a vacation, something where you're going to be potentially off track for a while, I make a plan. So I always try to figure out ahead of time when it's going to be worth it to indulge. So at Halloween, I might kind of know what candy's around. I usually buy candy that I don't really like. We'll talk about that again in October. But I try to plan. So I say, all right, well, this is my favorite Halloween treat every year. I'm not going to buy a bunch of them. I'm not going to buy a whole bag of them, but I might buy one for myself and allow myself to have that one or two. And that's going to be my indulgences. And I actually will literally plan when I'm going to eat them, what meal they're going to go with. I usually put it together, partner it with a healthy day and say, or maybe it's like, oh, I've been so healthy for 5 days in a row. This is the time. This is the time that I'm going to have this indulgence. And that works for me. When you plan it, there's no guilt. I don't want there to be guilt anyway in your life anytime that you eat, but it really does free you from the guilt if you've planned it. If you are kind of mindlessly eating things that aren't healthy, that might set you up for some guilty feelings or some feeling of out of control. But if you planned it, you knew that, one time this week you were going to eat this specific treat, there's no guilt, not at all. You just spend your time with that thing, you enjoy it. You're only going to have one or two of these in the month, and so you really mindfully eat it and you enjoy every speck of it with no guilt and no shame. So that's just a lovely experience. Rather than, what my husband calls, it tastes like another one. You're just shoveling them in and you're not even tasting them, because what does it taste like? It tastes like the next one. You're not even paying attention to it or really, truly enjoying it. So plan ahead. If you're going on vacation, you might actually look at the menus ahead of time. I'm a big fan of figuring out where I'm going to eat, make a reservation so it's less stressful, and look at the menus, because I like to find out, again, when is it worth it to really indulge? What are the best restaurants we're going to? What are their specialties? And when do they have amazing healthy things? You know, is there a restaurant around that has really healthy options that I'm super excited about trying? And, you know, again, balance it out so that my vacation is as much as possible planned out, and I know when I'm going to indulge guilt-free, and when I'm going to eat whatever I want, and when I'm going to choose the healthy things that are also delicious on that trip. So planning ahead is really how, you know, if you can anticipate a risky situation coming up, planning ahead is how I manage to stay not too far off track. Then it's easier to get back on track. And so next week we'll talk about part 2, which is when you're off track, things have gone haywire, how do we get back on track? See you next week.